So nuclear war is going to become a bigger and bigger possibility since Bohemia built the Manhattan Project, and we're only going to continue to see probably Portugal next, who knows, Egypt and the Assyrians. It depends on who has uranium, though. The ironic thing here, though, I think, when it comes to nuclear weapons and as we progress further into this campaign, the civ that has the most to lose from nukes has got to be Bohemia, because they're the one that has the most population, and Bohemia isn't a wide, sprawling empire. They're not like, let's say, Assyria or mainly Egypt. Egypt has tons and tons of cities. They're not like super well populated. Thebes and Cairo are, but not so much anything. Well, Memphis is okay too, but a lot of like single digit population cities. So they're playing very wide. Bohemia, exact opposite. You know, all over the double digits. They've got, you know, 37 here in Warsaw. I mean, it's mainly just Warsaw. If Warsaw were to get nuked, that's so much power just gone. So much power. And there's kind of a lot of this very tense region just over, you know, a few miles to the east. I don't know, a few miles. I'm just guessing here. I'm just throwing out shit. You guys know that. I don't know what I'm saying here. Who knows if this is a few miles? I'm gonna say a few, you know, maybe 100 miles around here on the scope of things. But yeah, there's a lot of tension going on between Prussia and the Goths, and specifically the Goths, where they're gonna eliminate Russia. And if the Goths eliminate Russia here, that's going to piss off a ton of surrounding neighbors. So, I don't know why I do that sometimes. Surrounding neighbors. Surrounding neighbors. Like, well, I should just be able to say neighbors. That's going to piss off a lot of neighbors. There you go. Eliminating a civ usually does a pretty big diplomatic hit, so we could see maybe the Huns or Prussia get upset. The Huns seem like they're not the type, though, to get upset by that, because the Huns are just the Huns. They're going to be upset no matter what. Tuscany has adopted freedom. Florence, there you go. Perfect. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's why Florence is the prophet. They adopted freedom. They went against the grain. And it's funny because I would knock any other civ right now if they chose freedom. But because it's Florence or Tuscany, whatever you want to say, I'm going to give them a lot of credit for it. So, yeah, good for them. France is coming in, but Portugal is kind of saving them. Florence needs better. They need better military units. They definitely do. So, yeah, over the break. I'm sorry, not over the break. During the last video, the British decided to unite the British Isles. I guess they just decided to by taking over Scotland. Scotland still exists in just west of Morocco, though. Ooh, the Moors and the Dutch. I still think the Dutch are pretty powerful. Wow, wait a second. The Vandals took what over? Oh, this city. Oh, I must have missed that. I'm so dumb. I think in the last video I ended with like, oh, nothing really too much is going to come from that conflict. I forgot about, yeah, the smaller cities. World's most well-fed people. Russia is #1. That would explain why they have, well, they had 2 cities with over 21 population, but not anymore. Then Harun al-Rashid. That's kind of cool. This is kind of coming out of nowhere. Shanghai. Then we have Finland, Carthage, France. That's a big one. I figured France would be a little bit higher, though. The Pope, the Moors, Theodora, and Morocco. Notice none of these civs are like any great powers. Looks like some of the, I guess, AI strategy, if you're maybe just a little bit further behind some of the great powers in the worlds, maybe to focus more on food growth. Maybe they're just not focusing as much on hammers. Ooh, Prussia. Oh, wait, that's kind of a big one, because there is still this city. That's big for 2 reasons. That's big because, first of all, the Dutch are probably going to lose this city. That's also a big deal because the Goths don't have to worry as much about Prussia. It's still very much possible that we see a Gothic-Prussian war here. That is kind of interesting, too, because the Huns might try to maybe migrate around Russian territory to get to Haarlem. I'm imagining that's Haarlem. Oh, you done goofed. You done goofed there. Someone else just declared war on Florence. Finland, I mean. Not someone else. Come on, Finland. I really thought we'd see a pretty strong Finland. Ooh, the Bohemian conflicts. Bohemia might try to move around Bavarian territory to get over here. So autocracy is now officially going to be the ruling ideology. And then world religion Islam was not passed. It's named by most of the world. Actually, no yays. We need to look into that. We need to look into religion, probably in the next one. Yeah, and Bohemia is plotting against Morocco. I did talk about, ooh, okay, a lot of people going after Florence. Wow, this is kind of interesting, too. The Vandals actually managed to get some privateers over here. Is that going to be, is that, no, Denmark and the Dutch don't have anything technically. Oh, that wasn't Finland that declared war on Tuscany. That was Flemish. That was Flanders. I completely forgot. I'm going to wait. I know I talked about in the last one that we would talk about future AI only battles, even though we still have quite a little bit into this one. I mean, I'll talk about it briefly. I think that I either want to stay in Europe right now. This is what I'm thinking right now, which could totally change in like a week, because that's just how my mind works. There we go. It's about damn time. British just declared war on the Dutch, and that's a very smart move for the British. This is gonna be close though. Holy crap, this is gonna be close. Look at this. Sea Beggars versus the British privateers. This is gonna be interesting. Now the thing that kind of, well, they both have artillery weapons. I feel like this is not going to go well for the British. Does anybody else have that feeling too? This is an awesome screenshot, though. I wish I could screenshot this right now. Too bad I'm just recording video, right, Drew? But no, this looks really cool. I can't wait to see how this plays out. Didn't realize there's so much population in both of these 3 cities. Yeah, this looks like it's going to be a major disaster for the British, actually. The only thing the British can do, well, actually, that's kind of a big deal, is they can fire upon with artillery units. They can destroy several Dutch ships just with these artillery units sitting here. I think the biggest thing we're going to see out of this is that the North Sea is going to be pretty vacant, at least of Dutch and British ships. Maybe that will leave an opening for Flanders or Sweden or Denmark, but I think they're just going to destroy each other here. Wow, this is kind of cool. Anyways, future of AI-only battles, I was thinking we either go back to Europe, do another one inside of Europe because this was just so good. I love it. Or I was thinking about doing another old world campaign, but on a smaller map. Maybe even a complete full world campaign again, but on a way smaller map. Not a super small map, but on the maps that I used to play on before. So we put 60 civs on a smaller map, which I think most people tend to agree with me that's kind of what causes the well, there's 2 things that happen on a small map, and I talked about this too, is that more civs get destroyed earlier on, which is good, limits the processing of turns, as well as, you know, the AI can't get up as many units because it's a smaller map overall, so there's less things to calculate for. All of that makes a huge difference, and I'd like to play on a few more small maps. So whether we revisit Europe or go back to a complete new world or an old world scenario just on a smaller map, I think that there's definitely a lot of room for some very interesting scenarios. If I were to go back to Europe, though, I'd probably just like whoever ends up being like the top 5 civs, I'd probably just remove them, replace them with mods, or replace them with different mods. Try to get 60 civs, even though it's really difficult because I tried to get almost everyone that I could in this game. Wow, look at the Dutch. That is, this is interesting. Again, though, Queen Victoria is just going to nail the Dutch fleet. They're going to get wrecked by all these artillery weapons. This is kind of last effort, though. Like, the Dutch need to take a city here. Whether it's London or Birmingham, right? It's Birmingham. Did I get it? I hope I got it. Morocco and Armenia declaring war. But anyways, that was kind of what I was talking about in the last one, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. Again, that could change, and it all depends on your opinion, too. I always read your comments and kind of figure out what you guys think. So, yes. Okay, so what's going on? Oh, let me also check on the Gothic and Russian front. Wow, okay. So the Goths are not holding back unless they peace out here. It's unlikely. With all the artillery weapons, that's just, it's making it so easy for the AI. I mean, all of these, look at all these shots they can take on the city. They have like 6 potential artillery fires on this 23 population city. This is a big deal for the Goths because they're going to pick up 2 double-digit cities. The city will, you know, a lot of the population will probably starve before they take it over completely. Look at that. It's already at half. It's already at half. And they could, theoretically, I don't think they can take it next turn, but maybe the turn after. Ooh. Switzerland just declared war on the Dutch. That's actually going to be a pretty big problem for them. I'd say. And yep, oh man, the Dutch are having a tough time. They might be able to take over one British city, which I think would be ultimately better for them. Even though they're losing all these colonies, I think that if they were to get a good hold on the British Isles, I think that it's still pretty good gain. They're gonna lose Haarlem though. There it is. Okay, finally. I was waiting for something in the Baltic Sea to break out. Sweden versus the Prussians. Oh, that's cool. That is really cool. And now we have Flanders versus the Dutch. Yep, boom. They're going to swoop in here too. And they're going to get a lot of help. Flanders is going to get a lot of help from the British artillery units themselves. France and Florence have pieced out. Good for France. Avoided that sticky situation there. Vandals and the Goths. Okay. Okay. There's nothing really going to happen from that. Okay, so there are several points of interest here. The Benelux territory, Benelux. I'm kind of interested to see if Haarlem does in fact fall. Russia's going after them too, I think. And this city will fall. But Sweden versus Prussia, I really like. Finally, a Baltic Sea conflict. That's what I've been waiting for. It seems pretty even, I think, kind of. Maybe not. Sweden needs to consolidate Sweden has like navies or ships like all over the place. As long as, well, here's the thing, yeah. I mean, if Prussia starts to send over their army to Scandinavia, that's where they're going to see some issues. I don't know what could happen. The Vandals are pretty much safe unless Portugal declares war on them, or unless someone from Africa declares war on them. Dutch and Carthage. Okay, let's go check on the Dutch. How are you doing? So yeah, you've already destroyed pretty much the entire Dutch fleet. Flanders, who is behind in technology, though, well, Flanders and Switzerland are going to put a lot of pressure on both sides here. And technically, you could hit Amsterdam. The British could hit Amsterdam from this tile here. You're going to get fired back upon, though. Ooh. The fall of the Dutch. It's so sad because so many people, because I've got actually a pretty large viewership from the Netherlands. So there's always a lot of people that are rooting for the Dutch. And this was looking really good for the Netherlands. They were, out of all of the European nations, they were the biggest one to colonize, which was so ironic since they only had one coastal city, Amsterdam. That was it. And it was so funny because everybody in the beginning of the game was so upset when on video 1, like, oh, the Dutch are sandwiched in between Flanders and Belgium, like, they're obviously going to lose, Drew, what the hell, and stuff like that. And it's like, I had played several videos into the future, so I knew that they were going to come back, so I was just waiting for these people to be like, oh, never mind, sorry, I didn't realize that the Dutch are awesome, I guess. But yeah, they were doing really well, and now looks like this is over. That's right, Bohemia is at war with them too. But they did well. This is just kind of, I wouldn't be disappointed at all if I was rooting for the Dutch, or if I had picked the Dutch, because they had a really good campaign. You know, even if they might not end up losing cities here. They might not end up losing these. I don't know. It's likely, but who knows. Either way, it just happened like that. They probably shouldn't have forward settled as many nations because that pissed a lot of people off. But it's okay. We'll see if France gets involved. France looks like they have open borders though with William, so Napoleon might be avoiding that. I don't know. Denmark has adopted order. Kind of a bad time to choose order right after autocracy gets passed, but whatever. But whatevs. But yeah, I wouldn't be disappointed. I mean, it just kind of, it just happens. Sometimes some civs just get war declared on all sides, and that's what happened to William here. So it looks like Amsterdam will fall pretty fast here. I think the British might even try to swoop in on a city or two. Maybe even Switzerland could get a city. I don't know. If Flanders picks all this stuff up, well, first of all, I don't think Flanders is going to keep it. There's no way. There's no way Flanders keeps this. Is that it? Yeah, that's the only notification. Is Prussia still going up? No, not really. And maybe Sweden does have the advantage here. I think that their fleet was just spread out along the Baltic Sea. See, now I want to see Finland do something now. Or Bohemia. There's like 4 powers struggling for this pretty big sea region that I don't talk about too often, but in this map, in this scenario, the Baltic Sea was such a point of interest. So it's kind of cool to it's kind of cool to finally see war break out, and more than likely this is only going to cause more war. So Finland will probably go to war. I'm thinking with either Prussia or Sweden here. I think. Oh, I forgot about these two Bohemian cities. I talked about how Bohemia was so tall, but they do have colonies. Oh, this city fell. I'm totally missing notifications. I'm sure maybe some other cities have fallen that I haven't mentioned yet. Scotland and William have peaced out. Okay, so Egypt's dead. Wait, is Egypt... I'm sorry, not Egypt. Is Russia dead? I didn't even see the little notification. I don't know. Ooh, Goths are dealing with some barbarians now. A lot of Bohemians. Bohemians really trying to attack Constantinople. And clearly I have not checked in on the Mediterranean in a while because there's all these little red numbers popping up. I think everything's fine. Did Morocco and... Geez, I don't even know half the things that are going on in the world. I'm looking at like a few points of interest. And then, I mean, as long as I'm not missing anything super major. Ooh. Is this going to be the British that takes this instead? Because it kind of looks that way. Wait, how did they not take it right there? It looks like they'll still take it. Yeah, okay, that's a much, much bigger deal. Flanders is not going to do anything. If Flanders takes Amsterdam, that's not really going to result in anything. If the British do, though, that's much bigger, because the British are, for the most part, pretty safe. London, kind of. They're more safe than the Dutch, at least, or Flanders, is what I mean. The Ottomans and Assyria, they do have a border. Oh, you're dead. I'm thinking Solomon, he's dead. He's probably dead. Are there conflicts? No, Bohemia's going to fall short of attacking the Byzantine Empire. Let's check on the Baltic Sea. Okay, so the Prussian fleet has been completely destroyed. And this is the issue. You need these artillery weapons right now along this coast, but you're too far away. They might end up losing a city because by Bohemia. Oh my goodness. I didn't realize that's why. That was not the British red, that was the Bohemian red. Ooh. Oh, that's huge. That's huge in two different ways. That's a big pickup for Bohemia. But at the same time, this is going to make a lot of people upset because it was Bohemia that took it over. I mean, I don't know. Bohemia, if they keep that #1 military, I doubt that there's going to be a big coalition. Oh, wait. So they should still be able to take it, though, right? This is going to get pretty messy. Obviously, Amsterdam is not as powerful as it used to be. Maybe it will be Flanders that takes it over. I don't know. Maybe the British will take it over now. But the fall of the Dutch is a pretty big issue, and then we have the whole Baltic Sea conflict taking place. It's actually going to get pretty difficult here for Sweden very soon. And then, yeah, it's Mali and Morocco. This is actually a bigger deal than I'm making it out to be. So we'll make sure that we focus on that a little bit more in the next one. So I think we're all kind of interested in seeing who's going to take the most out of the 3 Dutch cities. Will it be Bohemia, Flanders, Switzerland, or the British? Maybe even the French will join in the next one. But anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.